Hello, Boozoo. My name is Tiffany. I'm here at the Dryden Native Friendship Centre. I'm the Indigenous Mentor here, and I work with the LGBTQ2S plus community. Thank you for joining us today for our virtual vigil for the Transgender Day of Remembrance, as we mourn and remember these individuals that have been murdered due to anti-transgender violence. Over the past year, worldwide, there has been 350 reported transgender murders. Most of these occurred in Central and South America. However, there is still quite a number in North America, here in Canada, and the United States. These numbers are most likely to be underrepresented, as a lot of misreporting or underreporting and misgendering does occur. For the purpose of our vigil today, we're going to be focusing on Canada and the US. However, I do not want to downplay the heinous crimes committed to transgender people worldwide. We will begin our vigil with a smudging ceremony by Lori, our cultural worker, and then we will continue with the transgender vigil. Thank you.
So today, my name is Lori and I am the cultural worker here at the UNFC. Today, Tiffany has asked me to come and smudge to remember the ones that are lost. So I'm burning sage right now. It brings positive vibes, helps clear out negative thoughts. I'll start with you, Tiffany.
Miigwetch.
So I'm just going to smudge you, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Just to remember.
Miigwetch.
Miigwetch.
Very well.
This is a list of transgender individuals murdered in 2020 within the United States. Dustin Parker, a 25-year-old transgender man fatally shot in McAlester, Oklahoma early on New Year's Day. He was killed while working as a taxi cab driver. Dustin was a steadfast friend, an amazing husband and father, and generous to a fault. Alyssa or Alexa Luciano Ruiz, a transgender woman fatally shot in Toa Baja, Puerto Rico on February 24th after using a women's bathroom in McDonald's. Members of her community knew her as humble and noble. Yampi Mendez Arocho, a 19-year-old transgender man killed in Moca, Puerto Rico on March 5th. On social media, Arocho shared his love for basketball and the NBA, donning Miami Heat apparel. The biography line on his Facebook reads simply, "Humility prevails." Monica Diamond, a 34-year-old black transgender woman and business owner killed in Charlotte, North Carolina on March 18th. Through her work, Diamond spent her adult life creating community and spaces for LGBTQ people in Charlotte and beyond to come together and celebrate their lives. She was a chosen mother to countless. She was a business owner and loving friend. Lexi, a 33-year-old transgender woman killed in Harlem, New York on March 28th. Lexi was fatally stabbed at work in Harlem River Park. She was taken to a nearby hospital where she was pronounced dead. Lexi was known to have a beautiful heart and was very gifted. She loved poetry, makeup, and fashion. Joanna Metzger, a transgender woman killed in Baltimore, Maryland on April 11th. Metzger was fatally stabbed while visiting a Baltimore recovery center from Pennsylvania. She had a love of music and taught herself to play several instruments. She was a college graduate. Serena Angelique Velasquez Ramos, a 32-year-old transgender woman killed in Puerto Rico on April 21st. Ramos was visiting the island on vacation and was set to return to her home in Queens, New York at the end of the month. She was described as full of life, a happy person, and a sincere friend. Leila Pelez Sanchez, a 21-year-old transgender woman killed in Puerto Rico on April 21st. Sanchez had recently moved to the island. Penelope Diaz Ramirez, a 31-year-old transgender woman killed at the Bayamon Correctional Complex in Puerto Rico on April 13th. Nina Pop, a 28-year-old transgender woman killed in Sikeston, Missouri on May 3rd. She was deeply loved by her family, friends, and community, according to her Facebook page. Hel J. O'Regan, a 20-year-old transgender woman killed in San Antonio, Texas on May 6th. O'Regan was fatally stabbed while working at her job, a local barbershop. O'Regan was proud of her trans identity. On Trans Day of Visibility, she posted on Instagram, "I was looking at the pictures I used to take before I transitioned versus now, and it made me realize I'm way happier than I used to be. I love myself now. Thank you to everyone who has ever supported me, and to anyone who hasn't, I hope you come around. I'm happy and proud to be myself." Tony McDade, a black transgender man killed in Tallahassee, Florida on May 27th. His friends and family shared how he was an energetic, giving person with a big heart. He was known for lifting others' spirits. Dominique Remy Fells, a black transgender woman killed in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on June 9th. She was known for being unique and beautiful, and friends shared how great it was having her in their lives. Raya Milton, a 25-year-old black transgender woman killed in Liberty Township, Ohio on June 9th. Milton worked as a home health aide and studied at the University of Cincinnati. She was a loving sister and aunt, often posting photos of her family. Jane Thompson, a 33-year-old white transgender woman shot to death in Mesa County, Colorado on May 9th. She was killed by a Colorado State Patrol trooper and misgendered in initial news reports. Selena Reyes Hernandez, a 37-year-old transgender woman shot to death in Chicago on May 31st. According to news reports, Reyes Hernandez was shot and killed because she told her assailant that she was trans. Brian Egypt Powers, a 43-year-old black transgender person killed in Akron, Ohio on June 13th. He was described as a good Christian person who loved to cook and who brought warmth and life to everyone they met. As a child, Powers dreamed of becoming a backup dancer for Janet Jackson or Paula Abdul and is remembered for wearing long, colorful braids. Brayla Stone, a 17-year-old black transgender girl found killed on June 25th in Little Rock, Arkansas. Brayla was someone who always held space for others to be themselves and express their identities. She was a child just beginning to live her life, a child of trans experience, a person who had hopes and dreams, plans and community. Mercy Mack, a 22-year-old black transgender woman killed on June 30th in Dallas, Texas. Mack enjoyed baking cookies at home. She loved relaxing in the jacuzzi. Recently, she posted about how excited she was to return to her job at a local restaurant which had been closed due to COVID-19. Shaki Peters, a 32-year-old black transgender woman killed on July 1st in Amite City, Louisiana. Peters has been misgendered in media reports following her death. Bree Black, a 27-year-old black transgender woman who was killed in Pompano Beach, Florida on July 3rd of an apparent gunshot wound. Summer Taylor, a white non-binary person killed after a car drove into a crowd of protesters in Seattle, Washington on July 4th. Taylor was participating in the Black Femme March in solidarity with Black Lives Matter and against police brutality. Taylor worked full-time at Urban Animal Veterinary Hospital. Taylor was described as a blinding light in an otherwise dark world. Marilyn Cazares, a transgender Latina killed in Brawley, California. She loved to sing and dance and was known as a kind person to others. She was known in the community for her colorful clothing. Dior H. Ova, or Tiffany Harris, a black transgender woman killed in the Bronx, New York. Ova has been misgendered and misnamed online following her death. Ova loved fashion, listing her career as a personal shopper and posting photos with luxury fashion brands that she loved. She also enjoyed watching TV dramas. Keisha D. Hardy, a 22-year-old black transgender woman, was fatally shot in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on July 27th. She was a hairstylist and was very much loved within the community. She was described as loyal, loving, always smiling, the life of all parties, and truly one of a kind. Asia Raquel Roan Spears, a black transgender woman. She was fatally stabbed in Portland, Oregon on July 28th. Roan Spears was incredibly close to her family, posting photos with her father and playful statuses related to conversations she had with family members about cooking. She called out instances of racial injustice, especially violence by police, and advocated for a world free from white supremacy. Key Sam, a black transgender woman in Lafayette, Louisiana. Sam was shot at a hotel on August 12th and was transported to a hospital where she passed away the next day from her injuries. Key Sam has been misgendered and misnamed in the media following her death. She was very much loved by her friends. Ariane Burnett, a 37-year-old black transgender woman from Kansas City, was found dead of a gunshot wound early on September 19th in Independence, Missouri. Burnett was known for making people smile. Friends shared that if you wanted to have a good day, have Ariane by your side. Mia Green, a 29-year-old black transgender woman who was killed in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on September 28th. She was found suffering from a gunshot wound and was transported to a hospital where she passed away. She was known for having a contagious smile and making people laugh. Others remember her for having a sweet spirit. Michelin Ramos Vargas, a transgender woman who was killed in San German, Puerto Rico. Vargas was found dead of multiple gunshot wounds early in the morning on September 30th. Vargas, who was in her mid-30s, was studying to become a nurse at Ponce Paramedical College. Felicia Harris, a black transgender woman who was shot and killed in Meadowbrook Park in Augusta, Georgia. Felicia, 33, was an interior decorator and ran her own company where she enjoyed lending her eye to improve the surroundings of others and made others feel comfortable in their own space. Friends remember her for her smile and laugh. Brooklyn Deshuna, a 20-year-old black transgender woman who was killed in Shreveport, Louisiana on October 7th as a result of a gunshot wound. Brooklyn attended Bossier Parish Community College and studied cosmetology. Friends and family say that Brooklyn was genuinely a good person. Sarah Blackwood, a transgender woman who was killed in Indianapolis, Indiana on October 11th. Sarah was shot while walking home and was transported to a hospital where she passed away. Tragically, she died on National Coming Out Day, a day that is marked every year on October 11th to emphasize the importance of coming out and creating a safe world in which LGBTQ people can live openly as their authentic selves. Sarah enjoyed playing video games, and her favorite show was My Little Pony. She was loved by many friends. Angel Unique, a 25-year-old black transgender woman who was killed in Memphis, Tennessee, early in the morning on Sunday, October 25th, as the result of a gunshot wound. Unique was a licensed cosmetologist. She was known for her humor and being nice to everyone she met. She was known to be a bright person with a positive spirit. And that concludes the U.S. portion. As for transgender murders in Canada over the past year, 2020, Julie Berman, a 51-year-old transgender woman killed on December 22, 2019, found in a downtown Toronto residence with severe head injuries. She was brought to a hospital and pronounced dead. Berman was a prominent trans activist within the Toronto LGBTQ2S+ community. Berman worked on raising awareness of anti-trans violence and was involved in running Toronto's Transgender Day of Remembrance. Berman was remembered as a lovely person who was committed to the political issues that are facing her community in Canada, a champion of transgender rights. Toronto Mayor John Tory released a statement mourning Berman's death. Berman has been described as being an honest and beautiful person. She has been recalled for her generosity and ferocity as she fought to improve the lives of those in the transgender community. Tiffany is now going to light a candle to represent the 350 reported murders of transgender people worldwide.
Thank you so much for watching our virtual vigil. Please take a moment out of your day to pause and reflect in support of the transgender individuals who have lost their lives. Please share the video so others can watch as well. Miigwetch.